Judy Shields interviews Christopher Wyze, singer-songwriter. Premiering his new single, Good Friend Gone, September 17th. So we're glad he's here to talk with us. And it's Christopher Wyze. Hey, Christopher, how you doing?
I'm good, Judy. How are you?
Great. Do you go by Christopher or Chris? What do you prefer?
I Either one. Everybody pretty much calls me Chris, but that's the formal is Christopher. Yeah. And so here I am. Yeah, talking to you from here.
Wow, I'm in downtown LA. What's the weather back there right now?
The weather is beautiful. I bet it's like California is, but we get one day of this a year, so this is it.
Well, do you get snow there where you live?
We get a lot of snow. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
boy.
sort of.
Yeah.
And some years more than others, but yeah, we get a fair amount of snow.
Yeah, here in Southern California, we can, we can go up to the mountains from where I live, it's 30 minutes and then go an hour the other way and I'm in the water, so it's like,
Uh,
hey.
Beautiful. Yeah, I can
So
go an hour either way and it's all dirt. So, in 365 degrees. Video of which good friend Gone is a part of, which you are being so nice to premiere for us.
yes, we're excited. Where'd that title come from?
Well, songs, they say write what you know. And sometimes I make up things because I know some things that didn't happen to me, so I make them up. This one
Nice.
happened to me. I've got a friend who he's not with us anymore. And,
Oh.
kids do silly things and stupid things, and he sure did. And he didn't make it very far in his life. And this is a song about that, of what happened to him and where I am as a result. And it's the blues, so you can sing songs about this kind of stuff because this is not a happy song, but it's a very emotional song to me personally. And my co-writer was Eric Deaton on this song. We went into the studio in Muscle Shoals to record it, and we had an idea of what we wanted the song to sound like. And we just couldn't make it work. I remember we were fighting and fuss, not fighting. We were just struggling to make it work. I had written the lyrics and there were too many words in the chorus, and we just said, Ralph, let's just shelve this song. We'll go on to something else. And that evening, where we recorded in Muscle Shoals, it's a live-in studio, so the band lives there for the week. So we were all there, and after dinner, we'd been recording all day. We're sitting on the porch, and Eric Deaton, guitar player on Stuck in the Mud, and I started talking. I said, Eric, that song's not working. I said, you got any ideas? And Eric is a blues kind of encyclopedia, especially of hill country blues. And he said,
Wow.
well, I'm a hill country blues player. He said, I'd play something like this. And he had his guitar. And if you listen to Good Friend Gone, it's got a very driving beat. And
Yes.
Eric played the song and kind of like, I'd do it like this. I'm like, whoa, that wasn't anything that I was thinking. I said, hey, man, I don't know what to sing there. He goes, well, you sing it like this. And he gave me a line or two. I'm like, oh, I get it. So I said, keep going, man. Let's go. Then we got to the chorus and it had about 500 words in it. And I'm like, hey, Eric, I don't think that's working. I said, what if I just said, good friend gone? And that is the chorus. It's three words repeated many times. And it's like, he goes, man, that's what a hill country blues guy would do. He wouldn't worry about all those words that you had. I said, well, how about we grab Ralph and we'll see if we can record this tomorrow? So we did. We recorded it the next day. It was a new song for us. And then we performed it live at the Shack Up In there at the Juke Joint Chapel and filmed it.
Yeah, I love the opening is, music and I'm just like, "Oh wow, where's this gonna go?" Because you hear something and then it's all of a sudden and then I was telling Christopher before we recorded that I hadn't seen anything of him or his picture and I'm listening to it and I'm like, "Oh wow, look at that's sort of like a Chris Stapleton, David Coe, Alan Coe. All these men are coming up on my head and I'm expecting him to have a beard down to here and headband or all this and then he comes on I'm like, "Oh, so but it's a great song. You have a great voice.
Oh, thank you. I've been asked, well, hey, did it take you a while to grow into that voice? And I guess so.
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that about me singing. When it's you, you're always like, well, I wish I was better, and I don't know how good I am, and all that stuff. But when I was a kid in high school, I started out as a first tenor. That's
Yeah.
the the Vienna Boys Choir, as high as you can sing. And when I was a sophomore, I was a second tenor. When I was a junior, I was a baritone. And when I was a senior, I was a bass. So
Oh,
I, I can't tell you how much that helped me coming
wow.
back to music after really my business career and my, real career has kind of trailed down. But
Yeah.
I had experience with, really all areas of music, the melodies, the harmonies in a tenor range, the harmonies in the bass range. And I'm really not used to being a melody singer. So it's been new for me as well. I'm more used to singing harmonies. So, but that was a good experience. And, you've listened to the song, and I think my singing is a couple things about it that I try to emphasize is I want people to hear what we're saying,
Hmm.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I said that the Tellers is a band, and their job is to help tell the story. That's my job. We're Christopher Wyze and the Tellers, and we tell
Definitely.
stories. So I want you to hear the lyrics. The lyrics to me are why I'm doing this, to tell stories, and I try to make sure people can hear what I'm saying. And I'm not a whisperer kind of guy. I kind of make I got some volume. So, that song in particular, I've got a little emotion behind it. And yeah, it gets a
Yeah.
little screamy at times and so forth. So, I don't know, but
Yeah.
that that's what it was about.
It's a good title. All of it fits in very well.
Yeah, yeah. So to be able to do it, and the funny thing about performing it live, with this band that had just come together the day before is we created this song in the studio. I told you we made it up on the back porch the night
Yeah.
before. So I'd never heard the song before. And then we went in the studio and I cut the vocal and the rest of the band did it. And that was it. So I had done that song a grand total of one time in my life before I performed it live on stage, the video that you're going to premiere. So that's
Wow.
the funny thing about these songs. I wrote them with my co-writer Ralph Carter, who I met in Clarksdale, Mississippi, 15 years ago. I went to learn the harmonica. I play harmonica now, and I played it then, but I was in a band. It's like, hey, I want to take my skills up, and lo and behold, there's a harmonica camp that lasts a week in Clarksdale, Mississippi, by
Wow.
the great teacher John Gindick, who just passed away a couple of weeks ago. But I
Mm.
met Ralph Carter there. Ralph is one of the instructors, and we hit it off famously. And he kind of got in my ear after we got to know each other a little bit. And he goes, "Well, are you writing songs?" And I'm like, well, no. He said, well, you should. He goes, you can do this. And, da da da. We talk. He said, someday we'll do a record together. I said, man, I'd love to be on your record. He goes, no, no, it's going to be your record. So, a few years later, I read an article that talked about this studio, Ivy Manor at the Shoals. It was a new recording studio. And it said, you move there, you live there, they cook for you, you go to the studio. And I snapped a picture of it and texted it over to Ralph. I was kidding. I said, here's where we're going to record our album. And he said, okay, when do we do it? And I said, well, I haven't written anything. He said, well, you better get started. And so we agreed to get together in about 12 weeks. I wrote about 15 songs.
Wow.
And then we took him down to Clarksdale and we sat on a picnic table and he had a guitar and I had my sheet of lyrics. And between the two of us, we hammered them into songs and we recorded them on the iPhone and we took those into the studio. He wrote a few charts because he's a tremendous musician and scores things and plays all sorts of instruments. And he led the sessions. I now know what a producer does. He says, "Hey, Chris, do this," which is great. And we made these songs that I'd never really heard before. We'd only done them on a picnic table with my iPhone with a little bit of a guitar and me just sort of singing along and banging on the table for a little bit of rhythm. So it was fun to create them. We created them, and then to be able to do them live, was fun. But it was a little nerve-wracking because we don't know the songs. I didn't know them very
How
well. I
cool.
hadn't done it before.
So I see this great, is it a poster behind you or what's behind you there?
Yeah, that's my album cover of my debut album called Stuck in the Mud, which is another video that we've got out there. But yeah, that was the first one that came out just a little over a year ago. And then we made a live album. So we got two albums out in the world today. And that's the first one.
So what brought you into music? Has that been your career, some lifelong dream? What?
No,
Tell
it's
us.
been something I love. And I sang as a kid, choirs, all that kind of stuff. And, and did it in high school, and we had a really good music department in that. But then I went to school and studied journalism, I wrote for a newspaper and a magazine. I eventually became an advertising guy,
Okay.
and did that for many years, decades, and wrote books, wrote advertising, and things of that sort. So by the time I got back to music, really only about 20 years ago, I began singing in a cover band with some guys, and they sang rock and roll and the blues and one hit wonders. And then I just kept chasing this blues thing, which, kind of led us to here. But that started, oh, maybe 10 years ago. I started really pursuing the blues and getting to know folks in the blues world, and turned into making my own music and writing my own songs.
So why blues? I love blues.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know. I remember when I was in school, my brother came home from college. I was younger, and he had a B.B. King and Bobby Blue Bland live together for the first time album.
Wow.
And I'm not sure I really paid attention to the blues. My sisters played the Beatles, and they didn't play the Rolling Stones. They played the Beatles and John Sebastian and the Beach Boys. So they were a little mellower until the Beatles got weird, but then they listened to them. But we didn't have much blues. My mother would listen to, the great kind of singers, Nat King Cole and that, which of course he would sing the blues, but we didn't have a lot of it. But when I heard that album, I was like, whoa, okay, we're on to something. And it kind of hooked up for me that, wait a minute, this is kind of like rock and roll, but it's kind of not. And as of course learned more about it, I think rock and roll kind of started with the blues, so I maybe had it backwards.
That's for sure. So then, who are the tellers?
The Tellers is the band, and people say, well, why you call them the Tellers?
Yes.
Well, I'm a storyteller,
All
uh,
right.
Judy, and the Tellers help me tell these stories. So the lyrics of the songs I write, and I have co-writers who help me on the music and so forth. But my focus as a writer and having written my whole life
Yeah.
is to tell stories and blues stories. And so the Tellers started as a studio band. We recorded our first album, the one that's back on the wall here, Stuck in the Mud, in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and
Wow.
we worked with studio musicians there, and didn't really know what would happen with the record. I didn't have a record label. I didn't even have a name for the band. I had an idea with my co-writer Ralph Carter to make a record and do as well as we could and see what would happen. And what happened is we did sign a record deal, and it has gotten out in the world, and it did very well on a lot of the blues charts in many, many countries and iTunes and so forth. And then it's like, well, we don't really have a band. We just did this for 5 days in the studio. I mean, I met these guys on Monday morning and we walked out with a record on Friday. That was the way it was done. And
Yeah.
then it took a couple of years. I had the music and I got it in my hands and it's not going anywhere. So we had to find a way to get it out there. And it was connected with Big Radio Records in Memphis, Tennessee, and it kind of took off from there. They're kind of a very historic kind of a company. They were formed by Sam Phillips, who,
Right.
yeah, discovered Elvis and all that
Wow.
stuff.
Yeah.
So it's run today by his nephew and Sam's son. They run a company called Selecto Hits, and
Oh.
Selecto Hits was founded by Sam to distribute records. And back then, that meant taking a record and putting it in a box and sending it out around the world. And that's what Sam Phillips did with Selecto Hits. Today, they distribute my music digitally all over the world. And then we also do CDs and hard copy stuff, and they send that out to the world as well. So that company's still going, oh, geez, what would that be? 65 years strong.
Wow.
And it's just cool to be a part of it. We're working on a new project now, and I'm learning just how great it is to have a guy like Johnny Phillips, who people in the music industry know him. And we needed some help with this and that, and a studio and musicians. And it's like, let me make a phone call or two. And wow, that's great to have that because we got a cool project we're working on now. But right now we've got our live album out there, and that's what's going on. It's called Live in Clarksdale, which we recorded in Clarksdale, Mississippi. So the Tellers were the guys on stage with me. That was our first show ever, Judy. We've
Wow.
never performed.
What?
Well, this
You
group,
know.
I'd been performing for many
Yeah. Yeah.
years in cover bands and so forth, but
Yes.
the Christopher Wyze and the Tellers had never done a show. The first album really did so well that it's like, I want to keep this going. I want to
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
the momentum going. And it's sort of like, well, I don't know that I can get another album of originals together and out in the marketplace as quickly as I want. So what if we did a live album and we took the songs from Stuck in the Mud that did nicely and we did a show and we did it in Clarksdale, Mississippi, home of the blues, where I wrote many of these songs right there at the place we recorded it, at the Juke Joint Chapel, at the Shack Up Inn, at the Crossroads, almost where Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's uh, that's how that came to be. So it was our first show. It was a different band from the guys in Muscle Shoals.
Okay.
So I had a different group of guys, a couple of guys from Indianapolis, a couple of guys, one guy from Memphis, Tennessee, and a keyboard player from Oxford, Mississippi, and my producer, Ralph Carter, on stage with me. He used to write songs and perform and was the tour musical director for Eddie Money. So he had a lot of experience in the music business, has a studio in Ventura, not far from you.
Yeah.
So Ralph got us together the day before the show. We all said, "Hi, nice to meet you." And then we rehearsed. And the next day we did the show and we filmed it. We had a five camera crew and all this stuff. So part of the release was the soundtrack.
So how many songs are on the new album?
We have 10 songs on the album. Eight of them came from Stuck in the Mud. All eight of those charted somewhere in the world. So they
Got
could
it.
be on iTunes, could have been the Roots Music Report, the Big Blues chart in France, Canada, Belgium, Australia, things like that. And then we did two covers from Leroy Carr and Scrapper Blackwell, a couple of old
Oh,
blues guys that recorded in the 20s and 30s. They are
wow.
from Indianapolis, and that's where I live, is in Indianapolis. And they're kind of unknown today, but they recorded a song called How Long Blues that's been covered by everybody from,
Yeah.
I'm sure, Bonamassa and everybody to BB King and so forth. They wrote it and recorded it here in a hotel room in Indianapolis in the mid 20s, and it became one of the first million selling records in America. And
Wow.
Carr and Blackwell did a lot together, but Carr met an untimely death at age 30 in 1935, and Scrapper sort of disappeared from the
Oh,
scene until he reemerged in the late 50s and started making music again. But I wanted to do a tribute to them, and I also did another song called "Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out," a great blues tune that was recorded by Scrapper Blackwell in the 50s and others, written by Jimmy
yeah.
Cox. So we've got eight songs from Stuck in the Mud, originals,
Okay.
good, blues, and then some good old fashioned blues from Scrapper and Leroy on the record.
No, can't wait to hear it all. Instruments, what do you play?
I play the harmonica and then
Yeah.
I sing. I'm out in front.
Yes.
So that's what I do. And yeah, I got to it late. I really didn't come back to music. And, if I had it to do over again, I have a piano sitting over there. Okay, I plink on it. I got a little three-string guitar over there, a cigar box that blues guys play
Wow.
sometimes. They literally made them out of cigar boxes, in the early days
That's
just to
something.
make music. And
Yeah.
but the harmonica really always grabbed me, and that's what got me on my start of really trying to capture the blues and maybe do my own little thing with it as well.
Yeah, on Good Friends Gone, you're when you recorded it, what instruments did you have on that particular song? And who
Well,
played them?
yeah, let me think back. I sing in harmonica. I got a few harmonica things
Okay,
going on
that's
in
you.
there.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah.
It's
I
cool.
think we did it in one take too. I think I just it's like and in the recording you'll hear me say on the album, I say, "Here comes the harp," because the guys weren't expecting me to play. It's like, "Chris, go back and put that harp in later." It's like, you know what? I'm doing it right now. I feel it. And so I yell, I say, "Hey, here comes the harp." And it's like, dudes, keep playing. That's what that means when you're in the studio. So we have guitar with Eric Deaton. Eric's played with folks like the Black Keys. He's toured and performed with them.
Oh,
Hank
cool.
Williams Jr. played with him. He actually recorded with Tony Joe White after Tony Joe passed away. He worked on a project where they found some of his old tapes and they finished his songs. And Eric's a monster, just blues man from Mississippi. And then on the keyboards is Brad Kuhn, and my guess is Brad's playing several keys there. He might be playing piano, maybe a Wurlitzer electric piano, and maybe even a Hammond. I'm just trying to think back. And then we've got Justin Holder on drums, and
Wow.
Yeah, and probably some hand percussion. He'd probably shaking some stuff or something like that. And then Ralph's bringing it all together and saying, "Guys, I kind of am hearing this and I'm hearing that," and he may even say to Justin, "Justin, hit me that drum. You know, I don't. Let's get another drum. You got another snare here that doesn't quite sound like what I'm looking to for." So I learned a lot in those sessions to how you paint a picture of a story and. Really, that's
Yeah.
what we're trying to do, and it's just been delightful to do it.
Yes, all the successful songwriters are storytellers, and I could tell that you're one of those. Did your journalism career help you with that a little with your
Oh,
songwriting?
there's no question. You know, the journalism, uh, the advertising. I was a copywriter, and then I owned an advertising agency for 30 years. So,
Oh, wow.
um, and then I've written 5 books. So I
Oh,
have 5 books in print, and I
nice.
I tell people that by the time Ralph said, "Hey, Chris, you need to write some songs," I was ready because I had had 30 plus years of writing and having people scribble on my stuff and fixing my stuff and going to the salt mine and knowing what a deadline was and knowing you can't have writer's block and you don't have writer's block. I don't because I can't. You know, when you're a journalist, you don't have that. When you're an
Yeah.
advertising guy and you got a deadline, you don't have that. When you got a book publisher and they need the manuscript, you don't have it. And so when Ralph and I decided to do the first album and we said, hey, we'll meet in 3 months, it's like, okay, I got a deadline. I get it. This is like, and I'll get it done, Ralph. Don't worry about it. And I almost can't believe I said that because I'd never really written anything. So, but I'd also written. I think I kind of estimated about 2 million words that somebody had paid me to write. So I had a little bit of I had a little batting practice before. And so for me, it's kind of fun. Wow, a 200 word assignment. That's great. It's not a 40,000 word book. So uh, it's more like being a newspaper writer, which I didn't do for very long, but I would cover sports. And I mean, the football college or the high school football game would end at 9 o'clock, and I got till 10 o'clock to finish my story. I mean, that's it. And then I got to
Yeah.
interview the coaches too. So you learn how to do what you got to do. And that was great. So when I came to this, that all helped me. I mean, it just and Ralph even told me once. I said, "Oh, I wish I would have done this younger." He's like, "No, you showed up at the right time with ready to do this." And it's like that. Yeah, that's cool. So I'm okay with that now.
Congratulations. Welcome to songwriting.
Thank you. I haven't written very many. I'm working on a few. I just finished one 2 days ago and sent it over to Ralph. So we're gonna head to the studio soon to make that one.
Well, we're going to continue to follow your career and help you every way, every step of the way. We're here at
Oh,
Hollywood
I love you.
Times.
Thank you.
So how about giving our viewers your social media so I can put it up there?
Yeah, you can go to, of course, Facebook, Christopher Wyze and the Tellers. We're on Instagram. Those are really the two that kind of
Okay.
hit our audiences we've found. And our website, I'm a writer, Judy, as you know. I wrote everything on the website. People sometimes go there like, who did all that? It's like, well, I write. So I mean,
No.
it's
Oh, I
got
can't wait
videos,
now.
it's got stories, it's got pictures, I mean,
Cool.
it's got everything you can imagine. It's got newsletter. I've got a band news blog. And I take pictures. I used to be a photo editor for a magazine,
Oh
so
my
what
gosh.
the heck?
You.
Yeah, I
Wonderful.
just crammed. So that's ChristopherWyze.com,
Okay. Okay.
WYZE,
W.
ChristopherWyze.com.
Okay.
And from there you can get to the social channels. So if it's
Okay.
me and I'm kind of lazy, which I'm kind of lazy, I'd just go there and I'd click on the Facebook button or the Instagram button.
Yes.
And then, of course, our music is everywhere. Thanks to our record label, Big Radio Records. We're on Spotify, we're on Deezer, Tidal, anywhere in the world you stream music, we're out there. So go get that music. We're on YouTube. I got a YouTube channel, so Christopher Wyze and the Tellers
Oh,
on YouTube, and we've got lots of videos on there, a whole bunch. We've had just a ball. I work with a Clarksdale, Mississippi filmmaker, Coop Cooper, who lives in Clarksdale, and he's just a wonderful talent. And I put him on the assignment to film the live album, and we filmed a couple of music videos before that. So he's my go-to on
nice.
on video, and we just have so much fun. And the live album also has a 50-minute documentary film that I produced about Clarksdale, Mississippi, and the blues and everything
Mm.
that happened there. So I got home from the recording session of the live album, and I was like, why didn't I grab Coop and say, Coop, let's go do a film about what's going on in this area, about the blues. I didn't even think about it. So a couple weeks after we were done, I called him. I said, Coop, I got a crazy idea. I wonder if you're up for it. What if I showed up in Clarksdale 3 days after Christmas and you and I make a film? And he's like, yeah, sounds like fun. I said, okay, I'll get there. I'll get there in the afternoon the first day, and we'll wrap up by the afternoon the next day. I said, I got no script, but you know what we need to show people. I know what we need to show people. I said, follow me, and away we go. So we traveled around the Delta area around Clarksdale and show where the blues was discovered by W.C. Handy. We go to the gravesite of the great Sonny Boy Williamson, the harmonica player. And then we see stuff at the Shack Up Inn, the Juke Joint Chapel. We wander over to Ground Zero. We go to the Delta Blues Museum. We interview Bubba O'Keefe with the Clarksdale Tourism Bureau to talk about what folks can see and do in Clarksdale. And we just had a ball. It's just we just turned the camera on and away we went. So we had a lot of fun. So it's part of the package. If you buy the CD, you get the DVD. The DVD has the complete show on it,
Nice.
and it has the 50-minute documentary. So there you go.
All right, we all got to get that. Oh, that sounds amazing. Can't wait to watch that. Oh, that's a lot. Well,
It's
that
a
was
lot. I know. I'm like
that.
tired just telling you about this, Judy. And it's just like, what
Jeez.
the?
Okay, wait, let's have a drink here. Cheers.
Oh, thank you.
Well, we're so excited for you and your congratulations on, your music career, and we know that you're gonna just take it to the next level.
Yeah, it's all fun now. I think if I'd have done it as a career, I'd probably been all uptight and I'd have worked too hard and I'd have worried about it. But now, I'm past
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And this is just fun. It's just fun. I do it for fun. I love it. It's a joy. I can think up ideas and I have the time to do them now. I don't have the kind of stuff that, I used to run a business and worry about making payroll and all that kind
Oh
of
my
stuff.
gosh.
And
So
that's
yeah, so
gone.
that's how it's meant to be. You did all that stuff and
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
you're in retirement. Look at this as retirement, right?
Yeah, yeah, I get to spend, and I probably do. I probably spend 30, 40 hours a week on this, which is great. Talking to folks like you and
Yeah.
just making this stuff happen. It's just a ball. And the advertising world helped me,
Had to.
designing covers and things like this. That little picture of me, I worked with an art director, Coldo
Nice.
Barrasso, who did the design and the illustrations. And I said, hey, I said to my wife, you got to shoot a picture so we can have Coldo illustrate that. So she snaps a couple. I said, no, we need to do more. We shot 3,000 photographs to
Wow.
get that one pose. And that's what I'm used to doing as an advertising guy. It's like I'm trying to make something here for a
Yeah.
client, and I know that's how you do it. You don't cut any corners.
One thing.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and I have it's a 20-page booklet that comes with the CD. The other one has a 12-page booklet with all the lyrics. And I just want people to be able to get anything they want out of this music. It's all there.
Well, I'm looking forward to my autograph copy of it. I still
Oh,
have a CD
that'll
player
be
in my
fun.
car. So
That's
that's my
fantastic.
payment for doing interviews. I want those
Yeah.
CDs. I
Send
love
me the address. Send it to
I
Scott, our little buddy, and
I will,
it will
Scott.
happen.
He's used to me, so you will definitely get that. So this video or this Zoom interview will be put up on the Hollywood Times official YouTube channel. So I'll be getting that to
Wonderful.
you as well. And we are looking forward here at the Hollywood Times to premiere Good Friend Gone. It's September 17th. We can't wait.
I
So
can't wait either. Judy, you've been terrific. Thank you. I meet such wonderful people with this, and it's really cool to be with the Hollywood Times. This is great.
yeah, that's why I love doing it, meeting new people and becoming friends. So, and
Yeah,
I look forward to meeting you in person one day too.
that'll be great. I'll look forward to it.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.